In a world, actually.
There was a race to the moon!
It all started with
The Cold War. It created rivalry between the Soviets and the U.S. The growing war technologies made both countries very suspicious of each other.
both countries focused on attaining first, which were seen as necessities for national security and symbols of advanced technology.
The first time the Soviets tried, it was a failure. And then pour that stuff in.
And the first time the U.S. tried, it was also a failure.
Burn, baby, burn!
A few months after their first failure, Soviets launched their first successful satellite, Sputnik 1, on October 4th, 1957.
Woo! Woo, woo, woo! USSR in space! Soviet space dog! Dog in space!
Dog in space!
The dog died within 3 hours because of overheating, but she was the first animal to be in space.
After the launch of Laika, the Soviets only had 1 fail and 2 successes, while the U.S. had 3 failures. Seriously? Again? Oh my God! We're such failures! The U.S. finally had their first success when Explorer 1 reached orbit. Yeah, finally! U.S. in space! Yeah, finally! And everybody was kind of just like,
All I do is win, win, win.
I'm John F. Kennedy, and I plan to send one of our men to the moon. Despite the fact that we spent only 15 minutes in space, I'm bound and determined to send one of our men to the moon.
The Soviets also failed 3 times when they tried to launch their lunar probes, the Lunas. Commencing launch in 3, 2, 1. And failure. 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 On September 12th, Luna 2 became the first man-made object to successfully reach the moon. Can it make it? Can it make it? And it has made contact with the moon!
On October 7th, the Soviets were able to obtain the first pictures of the moon, which were taken by Luna 3, the first man-made object to take pictures of the far side of the moon.
It's a Kodak moment. Let me go and get my camera. All I want.
I need a soldier. I need a soldier. I need a soldier.
Hi, I'm Ham, and I was the first chimp in space.
In 1962, Yuri Gagarin became the first man to go into space.
Yuri Gagarin invited us all into space. He paved the way to the stars.
Oh my gosh. What? Them Russians, they made it to space before us.
Congratulations, Mr. Alan Shepard, on being the first American to go into space. The U.S. launched Ranger 3 in an attempt to reach the lunar surface, but it failed. This is the USA Ranger probe attempting to contact the moon, and it didn't make it. The U.S. launched another Ranger probe in an attempt to hit the lunar surface, and it was successful, but no photos were transmitted. Oh, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Oh, we made it. And everyone at NASA was kind of just like
down in broken Hartsville.
In February, John Glenn completed the first U.S. manned space orbital flight. John got back to Earth, and he was like,
I go hard in the paint.
But in August, the Soviets stepped ahead of us by launching the Vostok, a two-man spacecraft. Oh yeah, what's up now? USSR has two-man in space? On June 17th, the USSR's Valentina Tereshkova became the first woman in space. Valentina got back to Earth, and she was like,
my chick bad, my chick good, my chick do stuff that your chick wish she could. My chick.
We gon' take it to the moon, take it to the stars.
In early 1964, the Ranger 6 probe hit the lunar surface, but again failed to transmit the photo.
On October 12th, the first three-member crew orbited the Earth on board the USSR's Vostok spacecraft.
Order in space! Three-man spacecraft!
On January 17th, the Ranger 8 probe hit the moon and sent pictures back to Earth.
Ow! Hi, I'm Ranger 8. She's pictures. Transport it!
And everyone at NASA was just like, On March 18th, the USSR's Alex Leonov was the first man to venture outside of a spacecraft in space.
What is this? I am in space! But that was cool, because everybody at NASA was like,
The Soviets tried to land the E-6 lunar landers soft enough for a manned lunar landing, but failed.
I'm E6 lunar lander. Too hard. The US-27 spent 2 weeks in orbit, which was long enough for a lunar expedition.
During this year, both countries experimented with lunar landing,
The Soviets launched Luna 11 through 13.
and the US launched Gemini 8 through 12. Vladimir Komarov died because of landing issues. 3 US astronauts died in a fire accident when they were training. And now we commemorate those lost men.
The preacher man said, let us bow our heads and pray.
But enough with the sad stuff. The US had 2 lunar landers that reached the moon and 1 orbiter that mapped the moon.
The Soviets had the Soyuz spacecraft, which docked onto the moon. On January 7th, the US's Surveyor 7 reached the lunar surface. Oh yeah, crew of 3 orbiting around the moon. Yeah, go team. And everyone back home was like, the Soviets were now a year behind us. In 1969, they had their crew orbit the moon, which is what we did last year. Why are we even orbiting the moon? People have already done this before.
This is so boring. On July 16th, the US's Apollo 11 was launched, which would contain the first men that would ever walk on the moon. This is one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Buzz, snap a picture of me. Got it.
We are the champions.
having men walk on the moon first, we had proved to the world that we were the best. And everyone back home was like, you just stopped it.
Luna 2 became the first.
On October 12th, oh, Jesus.
The dog. Oh, hair looks terrible. Luna 2 became the first man-made object to successfully impact through the moon's surface on September 14th, 1959.
Impact the moon.
Impact the moon?
Just impact the moon. The moon's surface.
Impact the
Not
moon. The moon's surface on shithole. September 14th. Ah, didn't mean to say that. Hi, say hi. Is it out? No. Out, I'm getting out. No, don't.